What is going on, Lancers? Welcome back to the Style of Gaming, and welcome to another edition of my Anthem Masterwork weapon reviews. In this video, I'll be discussing the Masterwork Machine Pistol Vassa Surprise, one of the most impressive weapons in all of Anthem. Thank you to everyone who has shown the channel support by liking, sharing, and subscribing to my channel. If you haven't already, please subscribe, and let's get into this dream ride for the Interceptor Javelin. I always open each review with a visual breakdown of each Masterwork weapon. I had originally harped on the Unending Battle for looking like a toy pistol with futuristic sci-fi racing stripes. I feel like I should go back on that because I greatly appreciate the aesthetic now when I look at Vassa Surprise. This is the nerfiest Nerf gun in all of Anthem, and quite frankly, the flared orange tip of the gun is just as ridiculous, if not more here, than it was on the Thunderbolt of Yevgenia. I like that it has some more symbols than the Unending Battle, and I really enjoy the triangular patterns on the bottom grip, but otherwise, I can't stand how this weapon looks. I just had to get past it, because once you do get past the visual, dopey joke of an appearance, Vassa Surprise is easily one of the most punchy and ludicrously fun weapons in all of Anthem. As soon as you fire Vassa Surprise, this weapon speaks louder than most of its machine pistol counterparts in the game. Vassa Surprise has the sound, the recoil, the range, and the punch that is just an absolute joy to experience as you're smashing Dominion, Scar, or Outlaws. This weapon does a consistent 300 to 700 DPS before any damage buff or ability from your Javelin build, depending on the range. For a machine pistol, it has incredibly good mid-range play, and like most machine pistols, shreds enemies at close range. The roughly 50-round magazine just explodes when you hit the fire trigger, going from full to empty in less than 5 seconds. Its reload rate is roughly 2 to 3 seconds, in line with about all the machine pistols in the game, so you can maintain close range and consistent combat and not really need to duck out with this weapon. I can't say how much I enjoy the feel of this weapon. Vassa Surprise has aggressive feedback, and it's definitely a little bit out of control, but I just love the bounce, the pull that it gives. You really have to fight this weapon back into place. But once you get that feel and the cadence of how this weapon responds, you'll find a natural rhythm with Vassa Surprise unlike any other. I found the best luck while firing in bursts rather than attempting to dump the mag in a single firing session. Like most kinetic weapons, Vassa Surprise is okay against shields and armor, but I don't know if it was just my machine pistol build for the Interceptor, but this thing was taking down shields more so than it was armor. It was actually doing quite a bit of damage rather rapidly. The weapon is aptly named because I can't believe how surprised I was in using this badass pistol, as corny as that sounds. With all these considered, you might be saying, this weapon doesn't really sound all that special. What's the BFD, my dude? Well, the BFD, my dudes, is the Masterwork ability, hands down. The ability is simple, and it states, on a melee hit, gain 25% in the magazine.
Wait, what?
There really aren't any bells and whistles, secret caveats or hidden perks to this weapon. Very straight up. Slap a boy, bam, magazine is filled. Slap him maybe twice, you have a full magazine. I personally feel this is a no-brainer weapon for the Interceptor. Vassa Surprise didn't really work out for me as the Storm because I feel its melee is very limited in general, as well as it has a longer cooling time than the other jabs. It's just most effective with the Interceptor considering it has no melee timer whatsoever in between strikes. So as you can see, all this Interceptor footage, you don't even have to waste time reloading. Like I said before, the reload speed is so good as it stands, if you do have to pull back and regain shield, you'll be alright. But if you design a build for the Interceptor around armor and shields, you can literally just keep obliterating enemies. This weapon is just a solid middle-of-the-road weapon. Its stats don't really stand out and smack you in the face, but its solid overall stats, coupled with its Masterwork ability on the Interceptor class, really just work well to keep that consistent damage and pretty much make it unending. I kept saying to myself and my friends as I was playing with this gun, I couldn't decide if it was aptly named or if they should have just fused Vassa Surprise and Unending Battle to be Vassa's Unending Surprise, because this weapon just keeps going. I set my gear to be both primers rather than detonators, so I could seamlessly land combos by priming and then using the melee to detonate, reload, and then just be able to deliver a consistent 50 rounds without a break. It annihilates waves of basic enemies as well as unshielded elite scars, and it handles itself pretty well on Grandmaster 1 and 2. I haven't been able to dive into 3. But to be honest with you, I'm not a big Interceptor guy, and I'm nowhere near as solid with it as I'd like to be, but this weapon has really made me want to reevaluate how much I do use the Interceptor jab. All in all, Vassa Surprise honestly shocked me in more ways than one. The machine pistol is fast, accurate, has a great feel and sound, does a considerable amount of damage, and coupled with the Interceptor, it's a monster and one of the funnest machine pistols I've played, let alone one of the best guns I've played in Anthem. The Masterwork ability is designed for you close-range lancers who love the feel of the melee in Anthem and want to deliver a relentless series of strikes fused with gunplay. Thank you so much for watching, Lancers. If you haven't already, please subscribe. I greatly appreciate everybody's support. We'll see you out in the world of action, and back here again for another Masterwork weapon review.